Welcome back to another episode of the House Husband Diaries. As always, I am your host, Carter C. And if you see the Ozark Trail hatchet, you know what today is. Today is unboxing video, right? Stupid hatchet. Worst purchase of my hiking career. Anyhow, let's get started, right? So, just to recap, we've talked about sleeping systems. We talked about. I swear, last time I said I was going to sharpen this thing, didn't I? God, don't ever go to Walmart and buy a hatchet for your hiking needs. I'm going to say that every video, I think. All right, let's not cut myself. Oh, you see that? You see that? Oh, it's like butter. It's like hot. Like a hot knife through butter. That's what my mom would say. I'm just gonna toss it. Don't even need that thing anymore. All right, so we've done sleeping, old sleeping bag, but we got sleeping pad. We got a closed cell phone pad. We've got a pillow. We've got all kinds of stuff. We did food bags and spoons and coffee presses last time, and this time I will say I bought this stuff all in one go, but it's too much to make one video, and so I bought it all at backcountry.com. Still not sponsored. Maybe by the time this video airs, Backcountry will know who I am and will sponsor me, but at this point of doing these videos, I haven't published any of my hiking videos, so I'm just letting you know that I signed up and I was able to get 15% off my first purchase, and so I bought as much stuff as I could at the time that I thought was something that, not big purchases, so I didn't do tent, I didn't do backpack, I didn't do like new hiking shoes, I just did, kind of sleeping pad, those kinds of things, water filtration system, all of that. So, without further ado, today I'm going to be unboxing socks, shoes, underwear, and actually some maps that I didn't put in the box that I forgot. But without further ado, so what I will say is this, actually, before I get to that. I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. Not right now. Unscripted. First pair of shoes. Already had. They were free. Crocs. These are my camp shoes. Yes, they are Realtree camo. I don't know if they're Realtree, but I think they are. They might be. But they're fancy, right? Some fancy Crocs. They weigh about a pound, 14 ounces, I think, 14, 16 ounces. And I just strap them to the outside of my pack, and it just gives my feet a chance to breathe. I take my shoes and socks off at camp, wear the Crocs, and, like I said in previous videos, a pound or two doesn't really bother me. It's not going to change my hike. And so having a change of shoes, and the Crocs are nice. So I already had those because I go fishing in eastern North Carolina, and right here near Bayboro, North Carolina, Pamlico County. I like to go inshore fishing, and so I already had those shoes because I wear them on the boat, and you can get water, fish guts and stuff in them. And anyway, so they're a perfect camping shoe for me because of other things that I do. So that's that. So what I will do now, after that, is I will say, I'm going to reintroduce you to my old North Face hiking shoe, Gore-Tex, big ol' honkin' size 12, just heavy duty, good shoe. I had an earlier version or something very similar to this probably 10, 12 years ago. Then I wore those for 5, 7 years. I mean, that first version took me to India, Costa Rica. These have been to Costa Rica, many countries, Iceland. Great hiking shoe. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed both of them, both pair of these. And with that, I would wear these big old thick, as I showed you in a previous video, because they're big shoes, big old wide North Face heavy, and I have a very thin foot. I would wear these Carhartt, very thick wool socks. And my first two hikes with these were fine. I got a couple of blisters. It's to be expected, right? I live in a fairly flat place. It's hard to train for the elevation changes and the uneven surfaces. And so I had these big old thick socks, in these wide shoes. And I said, for my second hike, I'm gonna try some new socks. And so I bought two different kinds of socks. I wanted to try out two different kinds of socks, right? So this first pair of socks, I don't know if you've seen these. I saw them. I thought they were cool. All right, these are the Smartwool Performance Outdoor Ultralight Adventure Crew. $17 for the pair. Ultralight meaning almost no padding, very little padding. If you have a narrow foot and a narrow shoe, probably pretty good. Wore those first day, no heavy pack, just a day pack, blisters. Like just with the big shoe, big heavy shoe, not a good situation. So big heavy shoe, wide shoe, narrow foot, skinny sock, didn't fill the shoe completely. It was not a fun hiking experience. The other pair of socks I bought, this goes back to my basketball playing days in high school and college. These are the Smartwool Performance Outdoor Light Micro sock, because I don't like showing my sock outside of the shoe. And they have much more padding in the toe and the heel box. Much more padding, much thicker in those areas, and then form fitting through this side. And I wore these the next day. So the second hike that I did, the second section hike that I did, my buddy and I had done the AT Approach Trail from Amicalola Falls up to Springer Mountain Shelter, and we hiked down Springer Mountain to the parking area and then back out the next day, just an overnight in the freezing cold in February. And then the second hike was from from Springer parking lot to Neil Gap Mountain Crossings. But we did over 4 days, but we had a rain day. And so we actually did a day hike the first day. We did 11 miles or so, and I don't remember. I think it was Low Gap is where we got out. I don't really remember. Maybe it wasn't Low Gap. I don't remember. I could be wrong, because they have multiple names in North Carolina and Georgia, and so I wasn't thinking about that before I started doing this video. But anyway, I wore those thin socks that first day with a day pack, and then I had a day off, and so I was able to kind of doctor the blisters and be okay. So that day off, it rained, torrential downpours, and then I wore these socks with those old North Face shoes, and hiked overnight. We camped that night, and we did the 2 days over Blood Mountain to Mountain Crossings, and I was fine. And so I realized that those were the socks that I needed to wear from now on. And so those are the light micro sock. And I will say two things about those socks. One is, when I went to REI, I got back from that second hike and I said, I need some new hiking shoes. I found the socks that I like. Now I need some new hiking shoes. And the lady at REI in Raleigh, North Carolina, super nice, I don't remember her name. She said, make sure that you don't get the micro socks, the ankle socks, because when you step on twigs, branches, whatever. They'll cut your ankle. And I was like, yeah, I already have like a scab on my ankle, and I do. I get dirty ankles with those micro socks. Maybe in future videos I'll show you the out on trail and just how dirty my ankles get. I have to stick my feet in the rivers or the little streams and wash my feet, and wash my ankles. But my feet are also swollen and tired, and so the cold mountain springs are nice to soak the feet in anyway, so I don't really care. A few cuts and bruises on my ankles doesn't bother me. I like the smaller sock, and personal preference. If you like the taller sock, whatever, what have you, you do you. I'm doing me. So I go with that micro sock, and so I was advised not to buy those, to have something that covers the ankle. And then the second thing that I will say is I bought 6 pair of those light micro socks. So I'm in it for the long haul with those things, and maybe one of these days I will buy another 6 or 8 pair. But I think those are they're $15. I think that was with the 15% off, $15. But I have 6 pair of those socks. They come in like 3 colors, and I got all 3 colors twice, and they're just fantastic. I love those socks, and I had to get some new hiking shoes. So I say this with a little bit of hesitancy, because once I got back out on trail for my 3rd hike, and I did mountain crossings to Deep Gap, North Carolina, so I finished the Georgia section of the AT with these new shoes that I'm getting ready to show you. I realized that the lady at REI who told me not to get the micro sock also told me, when I said, well, I'm looking at some lighter trail shoes, and I didn't know anything about trail running shoes and blah blah blah, and she said, well, here's this pair of shoes, everybody buys them, and then this pair of shoes is nice, whatever. And I pointed out like 3 different pairs of shoes, and I said, well, I'm not the most popular person, I'm not gonna probably take the most popular shoe, whatever, but I'll just try these 3 shoes on. I don't even remember what the other 2 shoes are, but what I ended up picking was the most popular trail shoe on the Appalachian Trail, hands down, bar none. I feel like I'm at a middle school dance with everybody, everybody's the same. These are the Ultra Lone Peak 5s, size 12. They are fantastic. I rarely, if ever, have put on a pair of shoes and said, these are the most comfortable shoes, I'm definitely buying these. And that's what I said with these. And that's why everybody's wearing them. And I know everybody talks about the 0 drop between the heel and the toe box. That hasn't bothered me so far. That mountain crossings to Deep Gap is about 54 miles, give or take. And I had no problem. The buddy I was with that day, or that hike, those 4 or 5 days, wasn't feeling too well. He was kind of injured, and so we took it pretty slow, so I didn't stress myself out at all. But these survived great. I'll do another video on these probably to see, once I get 100 or 200 miles on them, to see how they're hanging out, how they're doing. But so far, $130 for these Lone Peak 5s. I have a narrow foot, as I said. I wear those thick Smartwool crew cut socks, or micro socks. Sorry, not crew cut, micro. But it has a wide toe box for me, because I have such a narrow. We just throw everything away, And but I have such a narrow foot, and I will say this: that when I was on trail a few weeks ago, one of the guys that was through hiking, doesn't have a trail name yet, so I won't say his real name. Super nice guy from Philadelphia. If you're ever watching this, hey, hope you make it. Hope you're, having a good hike. But he had, I think, an earlier version of the same shoe, and he has a wide foot. And he said that this newer version wasn't really wide enough for him, and so it didn't fit as well for him. Is basically the gist. And I, with a narrow foot, think that it has plenty of room, perfect for those small socks with the thick cushioning, and I think they're great. So, whatever. Then I will say, I bought some ex officio underwear because I really wasn't sure about the undies. I'm a newbie. I like the fish, right? And I went ahead and spent like 25, 26 bucks on underwear, which is crazy, but they are really nice, dry quickly. And I made a mistake when I bought them. I thought I ordered 2 different colors. Somehow I ordered the same. I know. I thought I'd ordered the same daggone pair. But ladies, you don't need to know this. You don't really care. But for you guys out there, they look the same. But if you look, this crotch has a circular, and then it goes in, and I don't really know what they call this. I didn't look, but it takes you a minute. You got to go in here, and then you got to dig in here to get it. But if you want to use the free floating system, the other pair has the normal boxer, just the slideshow. Like, boom, we're done. Like it's just the normal, whatever. We're here, vertical. There's none of this seascape. Whatever this thing is, where you have to go on a trail hunt to figure out where your long john is. So that was the difference between those 2 pair of underwear. I have no idea how I got the same pattern, whatever, but 2 different flies. What I will say is I use the more vertical traditional fly opening at night. That is my sleeping pair of underwear, because when I'm tired and I wake up in the middle of the night, if I have to go to the bathroom, I don't want to be digging around in there trying to figure out where the heck my little friend is. I just want to be able to use the restroom and then get back in the tent and go to sleep. When I'm out on trail, I have a little more time, and that's what we do. So those are the ex officio Give and Go 2.0 boxer briefs. And I'm going to throw this out of the way real quick because I have to reach one more thing. And I will say that the other thing that I have purchased, and I'll do a video on this, is on how I plan my hike. But the other thing that I bought, since this is an unboxing, are these little trail maps. And you see they have 3, 4, and this number 3 is North Carolina, Tennessee, Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Number 4 is North Carolina, Tennessee, Davenport Gap through Irwin, Tennessee. I have 2 here, which is the Georgia NC line through Fontana Dam. And these things I picked up at REI are phenomenal. My buddy had one for the second hike that I ever did, and he just had the first one, and it shows elevation changes, it shows shelters, it shows where springs are, where campsites are, and it's just a little old thing that you just can stick in the hip pocket or stick in your pocket. But I also purchased, before I went out on my 3rd hike, so I know I'm kind of switching between the 2nd and 3rd hikes here, but I purchased a whole bunch of those maps. And rather than doing the whole book for the entire through hike of 2021, since I'm only doing a section at a time, and I'm trying to get through North Carolina and Tennessee this year in 2021, and then maybe Virginia next year, I only bought the first 6. I think there's 22 of those little maps, but they're super helpful in terms of planning out your hike. And I'll do a video on, or probably I've already done a video by the time this unboxing video comes out, on how I plan my hikes. And so you've probably already seen those maps. But that was another thing that I picked up that I thought was really useful and a great little thing that doesn't weigh a whole lot, that really adds peace of mind and comfort while I'm out on the trail. So as always, thanks so much for watching this episode of the House Husband Diaries. If you enjoy the content, let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, and let me know what you'd like to see in future content. And until then, I hope you have a great day, and let me know how your hikes are going. Talk to you soon.